Welcome to Fireside Chat with Beth and Matt, where we break down the latest in AI and radiology. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's discussion. We're taking a deep dive into the world of AI and radiology today, and our guide is a 2023 review article from the British Journal of Radiology.
It's a great source because it not only highlights the potential of AI, but also provides a realistic look at where things stand clinically.
Exactly. So it's not just about understanding what AI is doing in radiology, but why it matters, the challenges it faces, and what to watch for as this field continues to evolve. One thing that really struck me was the article's discussion of this almost palpable excitement surrounding AI. There's this sense that it's going to completely revolutionize radiology.
Oh, absolutely. AI holds the promise of improving diagnosis, streamlining workflow, and ultimately leading to better patient care.
But the article doesn't shy away from the reality on the ground either, right?
Yeah.
It highlights that the adoption rate among radiologists is still modest.
That's right. There are a number of factors contributing to this hesitation. Inconsistent performance is a big one. An AI algorithm that works brilliantly in a research setting might not be as reliable in a busy clinical environment.
So it's not as simple as just plugging it in and letting it do its thing.
Not quite. There are also concerns about cost effectiveness. Is the investment worth it if the benefits aren't crystal clear? And of course, some radiologists worry about becoming too reliant on AI and losing some of their autonomy.
That makes sense. Now, the article delves into some specific areas where AI is showing real promise. It highlights several FDA-approved and CE-marked algorithms that are already being used clinically, particularly in breast imaging.
Yes. For example, Lunit's Insight MMG and Therapixel's MammoScreen are helping radiologists detect breast cancer more accurately. Studies have shown that these AI tools can actually improve the sensitivity of mammograms, which is incredibly important for early detection.
That's fantastic. Early detection is key when it comes to breast cancer. What other areas are seeing these kinds of advancements?
Thoracic radiology is another area where AI is making strides, specifically in the interpretation of chest X-rays and CT scans. Lumit's Insight CXR, for instance, has been shown to increase the sensitivity for detecting conditions like pneumonia and pneumothorax on chest X-rays.
And that means it's less likely to miss these potentially serious conditions.
Precisely. And AID's pulmonary embolism AI is another great example. Studies have shown that it can outperform radiologists in detecting pulmonary embolisms, which can be life-threatening if missed.
It sounds like AI is becoming quite adept at spotting those subtle details that might be easy for the human eye to overlook. But the article also brings up the issue of generalizability.
Yes, that's a crucial point. Just because an AI algorithm performs well in one setting doesn't mean it will be equally effective in another. These algorithms are trained on specific data sets, and their performance can be affected by variations in patient populations or imaging equipment.
So there's a need for what they call local validation, right?
Right. Exactly. It's essential to make sure that any AI algorithm is properly tested and fine-tuned for the specific environment where it's going to be used. This ensures that it's delivering on its promises and performing at its best.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of technology.
Not at all. It requires careful implementation and ongoing monitoring to ensure optimal performance.
That makes sense. Now, beyond these direct diagnostic applications, the article also talks about the less glamorous but equally important role of AI in optimizing radiology workflows.
Yes, AI is quietly making contributions behind the scenes to make things run more smoothly. Think about all the time radiologists spend on tasks like setting up study protocols and arranging images for review. AI has the potential to automate a lot of these time-consuming processes.
It sounds like having a personal assistant who knows exactly how you like things done.
That's a great way to put it. And it goes beyond just streamlining workflows. AI is also being used to enhance image quality in CT and MRI scans. Imagine being able to reduce noise and artifacts in images while maintaining or even improving the overall quality.
That could make a huge difference in diagnosis, right?
Absolutely. And this kind of AI-powered image enhancement can even help reduce scan times, which is a win-win for both patients and busy radiology departments.
This all sounds incredibly promising, but I'm sure there are some buts as well.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges and concerns holding AI back from being this utopian force in radiology?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles is the fear of replacement among radiologists. Some surveys even show medical students shying away from radiology as a career because they think AI will make them obsolete.
Wow, so it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
In a way, yes, but the article makes a strong argument that this fear is misplaced. Radiologists who embrace AI and learn to use it effectively will be the ones who thrive.
So it's about collaboration, not competition.
Precisely. It's about leveraging AI to enhance our capabilities, not to replace us. Another challenge for AI is its reliance on data. These algorithms need massive amounts of labeled data to learn effectively.
And that's where things can get tricky, right? Because
Mm.
someone has to go through and label all those images, which is incredibly time-consuming.
It is. But there are efforts underway to address this, like the Cancer Imaging Archive and the Chameleon Project in Europe. They're working to create these huge, publicly available repositories of medical images that can be used to train AI algorithms.
That sounds like a really important step in the right direction. What other challenges did the article highlight?
The black box problem is a big one. This refers to the fact that it's often difficult to understand how an AI algorithm arrives at its conclusions. It just spits out an answer, but we don't always know the reasoning behind it.
So it's like magic. We see the result, but we don't know the trick.
In a way, yes. And that lack of transparency is a major concern for radiologists, especially when it comes to accountability. If an AI makes a mistake, who's responsible?
That's a great question. Are there any efforts to make AI more explainable?
There are. Organizations like the American Medical Association and the European Commission are pushing for explainable AI, algorithms that can provide more transparency into their decision-making processes.
That sounds crucial, especially in a field like medicine where the stakes are so high. And then there's the whole issue of regulation and the legal uncertainty surrounding AI. The FDA's approach to regulating AI as a medical device is still evolving. I can only imagine the legal ramifications if an AI makes a mistake. It must be quite complex to figure out who is ultimately responsible.
You're absolutely right. It's a bit of a legal gray area right now, and we're still figuring out things like liability. Who's ultimately responsible when an AI gets something wrong? The radiologist, the developer, the hospital. It really highlights the dynamic interplay between technology and the human element in healthcare. It's not just about the algorithms themselves, it's about how we integrate them into our practice and use them effectively.
Speaking of that human element, the article makes a really interesting point about the importance of radiologists staying in the driver's seat when it comes to AI. It's not about blindly following the AI's recommendations.
Exactly. Think of AI as this incredibly advanced vehicle, capable of doing amazing things, but it still needs a skilled driver to navigate the complexities of the real world. Radiologists need to understand the AI's strengths and limitations, interpret its findings in the context of the patient's overall clinical picture, and ultimately make the best decisions for patient care.
It's like being an AI navigator, guiding this powerful technology to ensure it's used safely and effectively.
Precisely. And this idea of radiologists becoming AI experts is fascinating. It's almost like a whole new subspecialty within radiology is emerging.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
As AI becomes more integrated into practice, radiologists will need a deep understanding of how it works, how to interpret its output, and how to communicate effectively with patients about its use.
You hit the nail on the head. Patients are likely to have a lot of questions about AI. They might be wondering if it's going to replace their doctor or if they can trust its diagnoses. Radiologists need to be prepared to address these concerns and explain the role of AI in a way that's understandable and reassuring.
It's about building trust both in the technology and in the healthcare professionals who are using it.
Absolutely. And that trust is essential for the successful integration of AI into healthcare. Now, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the practical side of things. If you were a radiologist looking to implement AI in your practice, where would you even begin?
That's a great question. I imagine it can feel overwhelming with all the different options out there.
It definitely can be. The first step is to carefully assess your needs and identify the specific areas where AI could provide real value. Don't just jump on the AI bandwagon because it's trendy. Think about the challenges you face in your practice and how AI could help you overcome them.
So it's about finding the right tool for the job, not just adopting AI for the sake of it.
Exactly. Are you struggling with high volumes of scans? Are there certain types of diagnoses that are particularly challenging? Are there ways AI could streamline your workflow or enhance image quality? Once you've identified those areas where AI could make a difference, it's time to start researching the available solutions.
And not all AI solutions are created equal, right?
Definitely not. Look for solutions that have been rigorously validated in clinical settings, ideally with diverse patient populations. Don't just rely on marketing hype. Dig into the evidence. Talk to other radiologists who are using AI, read peer-reviewed studies, and make sure the solutions you're considering have a proven track record of accuracy and reliability.
It sounds like the same kind of due diligence you do before making any major investment.
Exactly. And remember, implementation is just the beginning. It's crucial to monitor the AI's performance over time to make sure it's continuing to meet your needs and to identify any potential issues or biases that may arise.
So it's not a set it and forget it type of thing. There's ongoing maintenance involved.
That's right. Think of it like owning a car. You need to make sure it gets regular tune-ups and maintenance to keep it running smoothly. And just as a car needs a skilled driver to operate safely, AI needs knowledgeable radiologists to guide its use and ensure it benefits patients.
This has been a truly fascinating deep dive into the world of AI and radiology. So to wrap things up, what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI has incredible potential to revolutionize radiology, but it's not a magic bullet. It's a powerful tool, but it's just that, a tool.
It's up to us as healthcare professionals and as a society to guide its development and implementation in a way that's ethical, responsible, and ultimately benefits patients.
Absolutely. And it's important for patients to be informed and to ask questions about the use of AI in their care.
Don't be afraid to ask your doctor how AI is being used, what the potential benefits and risks are, and how it might affect your diagnosis or treatment. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your health.
And remember, AI in healthcare is still in its early stages. There's so much more to learn and discover.
The future of radiology, shaped by AI, is incredibly exciting, but we're still navigating this uncharted territory.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to have these open conversations, to share knowledge, and to consider different perspectives.
We need everyone at the table, radiologists, AI developers, ethicists, policymakers, and of course patients, to shape the future of AI in healthcare responsibly.
Couldn't agree more. This deep dive has really highlighted the dynamic interplay between technology and the human element in medicine.
And it's that human element, our expertise, our judgment, our compassion, that will ultimately guide AI to its full potential.
AI is a tool, and like any tool, its effectiveness depends on the skill of the user. Radiologists of the future won't just be reading images, they'll be AI navigators, ensuring this powerful technology is used to its fullest to benefit patients.
It's an exciting and challenging time to be in radiology, that's for sure. Now, before we sign off, there's one more thought-provoking point from the article that I wanted to bring up. The authors discuss this concept of vicarious liability.
Oh yes, that's an interesting one. It essentially means that in some situations, the radiologist could be held legally responsible for mistakes made by the AI, even if they weren't directly involved in the decision-making process.
So even though the AI is making the call, the radiologist is still ultimately accountable.
It's a complex issue, and it raises a lot of questions about accountability and responsibility in the age of AI. Who's ultimately responsible when an AI gets something wrong? It's a question that radiologists and policymakers will need to grapple with as AI becomes more integrated into healthcare.
It really is remarkable to think about how AI could empower patients in their healthcare journey. It's not just about improving the technical aspects of radiology, it's about making the whole experience better for the people who matter most, the patients.
Absolutely. And that brings me back to something we touched on earlier, the importance of clear communication. As AI becomes more prevalent in radiology, it's crucial that we explain its role to patients in a way that's transparent and reassuring.
Because let's face it, AI can seem a bit mysterious, even intimidating to those who aren't familiar with the technology. We don't want patients to feel like their care is being handed over to a machine.
Exactly. It's about emphasizing that AI is a tool that can help radiologists make more informed decisions, but it's not a replacement for human expertise and judgment. Radiologists will always be at the heart of patient care.
And that's a really important message to convey not just to patients, but to the public as a whole. We need to demystify AI and help people understand its potential benefits while also acknowledging the challenges and limitations.
I completely agree. Open and honest communication is key. We need to have these conversations not just within the medical community, but also with patients, policymakers, and the wider public.
It's about creating a dialogue and ensuring that everyone has a voice in shaping the future of AI in healthcare.
Well said. This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. It's clear that AI is poised to have a profound impact on radiology, and it's up to all of us to navigate this new frontier responsibly and ethically.
We need to embrace the potential of AI while also being mindful of the challenges and ensuring that it's used in a way that ultimately benefits patients. I think this review article has given us a lot to think about, and I hope it sparks some curiosity in our listeners as well.
I couldn't agree more. AI in radiology is a rapidly evolving field, and it's an exciting time to be a part of it. I encourage everyone to stay informed, ask questions, and be active participants in shaping this transformative technology.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI and radiology. We hope you found it informative and engaging.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking questions.